Thank you so much. Well, it gives me great honor to present 10th District Cook County Commissioner Bridget Gaynor the Builder Award of 2018. So what is a builder? Some of you may have watched Bob the Builder, and what was his famous saying? Does anybody know? Can we fix it? Yes, we can. So remember in the movie Field of Dreams, they said, if you build it, they will come. And Frederick Douglass, who was an African-American abolitionist leader, said it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. The NewFounders Builder Award is about building change and being a leader for the future. NewFounder leaders are political builders like Bob the Builder. They believe they can fix it. For these reasons, Commissioner Bridget Gaynor is perfectly built for this award. Commissioner Gaynor was elected to the Cook County Board in 2010 and has been recognized by MSNBC Chuck Todd as a rising star in Illinois politics. She has an MBA from the University of Chicago and a strong background in finance, and that her first act as county commissioner was to create Cook County's first pension committee. As chairman, Commissioner Gaynor led the change to find a pension reform solution that was fair to both taxpayers and workers. To keep the public engaged, she also launched an open data pension website, and where the press, the public, and the county employees could go for details on plans and proposals. The result was a working group of labor and government officials who drafted one of the state's first collaborative pension reform bills. She also created the Cook County Land Bank, the region's most comprehensive response to reduce the amount of vacant land and abandoned buildings throughout Cook County, bringing together realtors, private developers, civic and social leaders. And this work that Cook County Commissioner Bridget Gaynor did on the county land bank has been noted in the Wall Street Journal, the Chicago Tribune, the Chicago Sun-Times, and Crain's Chicago Business. In addition to her work on finance and foreclosure, she's creating a new asset for regional workforce development by bringing together community colleges, high schools, and businesses to reimagine apprenticeships. She believes that if the United States is going to be a leader in global labor market, we have to ensure our job training looks like the economy of tomorrow. And Commissioner Gaynor also believes that rather just focusing on the skills gap, we have to fight for the training gap that exists and bring employers into the workforce development. Finally, Commissioner Gaynor has devoted special interest to women and children in the county's criminal justice system and has eliminated the practice of separating new mothers awaiting trial from their newborns, led the fight to ban shackling pregnant detainees during delivery, created the first citizen advisory board for the Juvenile Detention Center, and continues to fight for the number of nonviolent offenders in the county jail. So most recently, with the support of United States Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Commissioner Gaynor launched Off the Sidelines, which is now called Cause the Effect Chicago. And that Cause the Effect began to encourage more young women to take their ideas to action. I was at that first meeting where it brought out a few hundred energized, motivated, and focused women, and now the organization has quickly grown to over 2,500 members. In 2017, Cause the Effect launched the Political Action Committee and to support local women candidates and endorse candidates, of which I was a proud first round of endorsed candidates, and now I will join Commissioner Gaynor as one of 5 women on the county board. So a change is coming. There were only 2 women when she was there before, and she's worked diligently to support other women joining the board. Bridget Gaynor's commitment to innovation, diverse leadership, and accessibility in politics is what makes her a champion for the work and why NewFounders has decided to recognize her this evening. Now, in joining the likes of other NewFounders trailblazers, as we've heard some of them mentioned already tonight, like Indivisible, Swing Left, Illinois starts today, and Commissioner Gaynor has proven her commitment to building exceptional opportunities for change in our city, our country, and the world. So please help me welcome to the stage the NewFounders 2018 Builder Award, Commissioner Bridget Gaynor.
Thank you, Donna. It's an introduction only a mother could love, so it's everything you've ever wanted to know about me. So this is a phenomenal room, and I've loved seeing people from all different parts of my life come here together, and I really want to thank everyone for NewFounders. I mean, the creation of something is, it's a labor of love, and so I want to thank Genevieve and everybody here who made this happen, because I think we're all lucky to have you here and this energy channeled here together. And so when I was listening to Genevieve talk, it did bring back those visceral memories of 2016, and everybody has their favorite. Mine was like a text cascade with my sister. So I'm one of 5 sisters, and at the time, Mary was in West Virginia. She's a doctor, probably the only Democrat within 40 miles, and Sheila is a union organizer. She was in Miami, and the other 3 of us are here. And so we started the day getting ready to go to the parties, safe in the idea that we were going to elect our first female president. And then as the night kind of cascaded down and we were getting all of these text messages with each other, it ended with, I think I pulled the covers over my head and I couldn't even watch TV anymore and went to sleep. And but the thing is that the best part of, certainly of that story, and so many stories, is what happens the next day. And this room is a testament to the fact that what happens the next day is actually sometimes the most energizing and exciting thing that could happen, and that's really why we're all here tonight. Because when I think about founding fathers, we don't have to go to Washington. We don't have to go 1,000 miles away. And I think actually what we need to do is keep our eyes on the prize, not just for our democracy, but for our city. Because for me, and I think one of the reasons I'm so excited for Donna to join me on the board, along with Bridget Degnan and Alma, yes, there'll be only 5 women, but 2 of them will be Bridget's, on the county board, is that, for anyone who's contemplating local office, I have found working on the county board to be one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, because it gives you the opportunity to have a footprint and an option and your hand into some of the most important decisions that are made, because public health, the criminal justice system, how we handle our tax system, all of those things really affect people's lives in a visceral way, and it's incredibly compelling. So anyone out there who's thinking about running for local office, I cannot encourage you more, and I know Lauren is on that effort, and the county boards are often the redheaded stepchild of the political system, but I'm here to tell you that they are fabulous and anyone should join them, because I really do think the future is local, and that works in a city like Chicago because we're a city of neighborhoods, and so our future, our past, our present is always tied into what's in the neighborhood. And so our ability to learn from that past and to set the course for our future is dependent on keeping our feet on the ground and not just being distracted by the shiny object, whether that's celebrity or politics or anything else. It's because that's what turns our action into vision, and when we have more than vision, we have results. So everybody's political story, whether it started for you the night of 2016 or far before that, kind of starts at some beginning. And for me, I grew up on the Southwest Side. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, kind of typical Chicago neighborhood. I went on to U of I, and then in a stroke of luck that's really continued to inform almost everything I do, I lived in a lay volunteer community and was trained as a community organizer by a fascinating combination of Jeff Canada, who started the Harlem Children's Zone, and the Sisters of the Good Shepherd. And that was in Brooklyn, when Brooklyn was a lot more like The Wire and a lot less like Girls. I did go back there, and there is actually a store that only sells goat milk yogurt, in case you didn't know that, because I didn't know that. So, this learning how to organize, to be a community organizer, taught me an enormous amount about people. And the most important thing that it taught me is that they are willing to move heaven and earth if they're behind something and it's what their heart is, and they've been involved in the creation of what the vision is. Because at the end of the day, we solve for a lot if we create a place where people love where they live. But in Chicago right now, there are a lot of neighborhoods where we make it hard to love where you live, let alone be activated around a common cause. But when it works and when you really listen, it can be transformational. So 5 years ago, and I thought this was appropriate for the Builders Award, in the ashes of the financial crisis, we started listening and organizing, and what was resulted was, as Donna mentioned, the creation of the Cook County Land Bank. And we had one goal, which was to reduce the amount of blighted and vacant property in Cook County. As you guys remember, neighborhoods across the city were beset by houses that were sitting vacant in communities that had never seen vacant housing. The court system got clogged, no one knew how to hire a lawyer, you couldn't even figure out who owned a piece of property, and it was stymieing the very thing that is our lifeblood, which is the health of our communities. And like every entrepreneur in this room, we had to figure out that there's a combination of action and strategy. And this strategy worked. So we are 5 years into the land bank now, and it's a lot of church basements and a lot of driving around with people in the community. But by the end of this year, we will close on our 500th home that was vacant and now will be occupied by a family. Yeah. And there are hundreds more in the pipeline. And this isn't just any pipeline. 80% of these homes were sold for home ownership. And 75% of those homes were completed by a small developer. We have recruited over 200 small developers, the majority of which are African American or Latino and from the community. And no one was looking for a handout, and no one needed a TIF grant, and no one needed anything from anybody else. What they needed was for us to remove the barriers to entry, to clear out the court system, to clear liens and title. And once you open that door, people walk through it by themselves. And so what we needed to do was to create an opportunity to reduce the barriers to entry, which is exactly what I think the people in this room with the NewFounders are doing in order for people to participate in their own elections. Because they're not looking for you to do them a favor. What they're looking for you to do is to take the system that we have created and make it easy for everyone to understand so people can actually effectuate the vision in their own life. So the ability to empower a collective solution is really what our task is here today. But you can't go it alone, and that applies to politics, it applies to economics, or it applies to a movement. And that is why it's truly an honor to be with you all here tonight and get this award. I got to meet Genevieve not that long ago, and I always say that's the best thing about politics is you cannot make up the people that you get to meet. They're always interesting, and I mean that in the greatest way. So NewFounders was started, from what I understand, to ensure that the intolerable situation that we found ourselves in today, voter suppression, low turnouts, this idea that elections are only for insiders, that it's too hard to navigate, become a thing of the past. Knowledge is power, and channeling and taking all this time-trusted methods of organizing and pairing them with the opportunities of technology is making the words that I try to live by, which is don't tolerate things for other people that you wouldn't tolerate for yourself. And, I want to give Genevieve special credit and everybody in this room who has sat around in a bunch of windowless offices trying to figure out how it is that you take this thing which people want, which is to participate in their government, and allow them to do it in a way that's actually easy. So our ability, your ability to buy your way out, to move your way out, to gate yourself behind the issues of our country or our city is the very reason that we should be at the tip of the spear to address them. And when it comes to change, there is no better way to do it than through the ballot box. So the people in this room, myself included, cannot afford to sleepwalk while the idea of our national democracy and very real parts of our city are falling apart. It's wrong, but it's also such a waste. This is our country, it is our city, and it is time for us to rise to our responsibility. And that is why I love being in rooms like this, because this room is not going to sleepwalk. So in true organizer fashion, you have gathered, there will be drinking, and we will leave here knowing what we are supposed to do tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So the future is local, and let's make it a great one. Thank you very much.